Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? All right, listen. We have an update on those drones, okay? And this is what 47 has to say. It seems to be in the video he is at like a I don't know if it's a dinner or like a roundtable discussion or what, but there's like a whole bunch of people and they're having this discussion. And I don't know if it's a reporter or what, asking if he will be giving an update soon or if he knows of what these drones are, especially over New Jersey.
Story that kind of disappeared at a very sudden. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you had said that you knew you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
They're over Bedminster a lot, so I can imagine. I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about it?
Just one quick comment, which is we are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
Well, I can tell you this. While we were dealing with a terrorist attack in New Orleans, we had drones being flown over our nuclear reactors in Louisiana. And we brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones. And it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And that's real.
Nobody knows. They don't want to talk about it. Go ahead, Governor. You're going to say.
I was going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as well. And it's incredibly frustrating that we not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with them.
They don't want to talk about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending drones. I hope that's the case, us doing it and doing research, and maybe they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. I hope it's not an enemy, but we're going to find out on the 21st, the day after. You have to give me a little time for the inauguration, but shortly thereafter, we'll give you a report on it. We'll tell you exactly what it is.
Now, there is a reporter, and she is going to be doing, I don't know if it's like a documentary or what this is, but it's a video about Guantanamo Bay. And one of the videos has been dropped. And from what I understand, more of them will be dropped shortly. To summarize, the operation at Gitmo takes too long. It's very expensive and it lacks transparency for the American people. The September 2001 prosecutions are still taking place. I don't know how. I mean, we're going on 24 years later and they're still taking place. My question is, why is she doing all of this now, of all times? Why is she doing this now? Because it just seems to me like, I mean, I'm sure there's a really good reason, but why now of all times? It's just, you know, I don't know. Yeah.
We're heading to the courthouse complex on the base, where military hearings are scheduled for 2 long-standing terrorism cases, including 9/11. Everything we do, everything we record is closely monitored and must be reviewed by the military. With few exceptions, most of the sites we travel to are security sensitive.
There are 3 courthouses here at Camp Justice. The oldest courthouse is behind me. This is Courthouse 1. It's been around for decades, but it's no longer used for the military prosecutions. The main courthouse is Courthouse number 2. That's about 200 yards over to my right. This is a high security courthouse that was custom built for the 9/11 prosecution. There are so many restrictions around filming that courthouse that all we can show you is the barbed wire perimeter. There's also been some significant new construction here at Camp Justice, Courthouse number 3, and that was completed at a cost of around $4 million. What's striking is that so many administrations have tried to shut down the operation here. President Obama signed an executive order 13492. His intent was to close down the detainee operations within a year. That has completely failed, and I think it showed a fundamental lack of understanding about the complexity of the legal questions here at Guantanamo. It all comes down to the CIA's enhanced interrogation program, what critics call torture, waterboarding, pressure positions. You just can't unring the bell on that time period. So that is the single issue, I think, that's responsible for grinding these cases to a halt, because there have been endless years of litigation about the evidence and what will be submitted to the courts. I first came to Guantanamo Bay 17 years ago in 2008 for the arraignment of the 5 9/11 defendants in the military courthouse just over to my left. This was under the Bush administration. Since the camps opened in early 2002, several hundred detainees have passed through the detention centers. The best number most people work with is somewhere close to 800. Now, only 15 detainees are left, and it costs about $450 million a year. And what's striking to me is that there's virtually no transparency on those operations now. The last time the media was inside those detention camps was 2019. This is a huge contrast from when I first came to Guantanamo nearly 2 decades ago. When we did the tours of the camps, we really had a lot of access. We were able to see the outdoor recreation areas. We were able to see these indoor communal areas. We were able to see the art lessons that were given to detainees. We were able to see the television sets that were brought in so that they could stay on top of the news. So when you think about this big picture and you look at the taxpayer dollars, about $450 million, and that may actually be on the low side, a dated number. For the current number of detainees, 15 that are left, 30 million taxpayer dollars to keep each one of them annually. And there's no way to really assess whether there's accountability and whether there's a lot of government efficiency when it comes to that taxpayer money.
Now, have you ever noticed strange coincidences? And I know some people will be like, I don't believe in coincidences. Okay, well, that's fine. But when you notice them, especially when you realize that the world is just a little bit odd, when you do research like I do, and you notice the little things, okay, and when you watch this, you're going to realize what I'm talking about when it comes to little things. Something small like a pine cone, you're going to be like, really? I never realized. Watch. Ciao.
When you realize the world is a little bit odd.